Hey guys, welcome to Dubbzi Bricks, and we have a different type of video for you today. I want to discuss the Lego room and my plans for 2026. Now, there are going to be some big changes into the Lego room over the next few weeks, and this is going to have a knock-on effect to the mocks that I'm building. I also want to change a couple of ways that I go about building my mocks, so how I display them, what I'm actually doing with them. So I'm going to cover all of that in this video. Now, the problem I've got at the moment is the Lego room is not big enough. It's a fantastic space I have here. I'm so grateful and lucky to have it. The room is about 6.8 meters long, I think it is, by 4.6 meters wide. So it's a nice space to have. However, I think I've made a mistake with the size of Gotham City. Now, in my previous Lego room, I had a table that was 3.2 meters by 1.8, and I was so happy with that size. I thought it was great. I knew everything was going to be very tight, fitting all the things into the city I wanted to. So when I got this new Lego room, my heart ruled my head and I just built the biggest table that I possibly could to fit in the room. And what I mean by that, the length of the room, all I did was left about 70 centimetres each end. I left 70 centimetres to one side and then made the table as wide as I could that I could actually reach the centre of the table. Now, that's all good. However, when it comes to the other builds that I'm doing, such as the Tantive, that's when I start to struggle. The Tantive is a lot bigger than I originally planned. Now, when I first started building the Tantive, it was going to be around about 2 to 2.6 metres in length. However, once I built the corridor section, I soon realised it was going to be over 3 metres. And the table it's on at the moment is not big enough. I can't display it how I want to. I can't work on it how I want to. So I need to find a solution to this. Also, the Lego room's not looking how I want it to be. I want there to be shelves or cupboards or units on the wall so I can display my Lego sets. I want to have a separate build area so I can work on other things. The Onyx Cinder, a build series that I started and haven't done any work on for several months. The reasons I haven't been working on it are for two reasons. One, I was struggling with the technical side of it on the rear end. I think I've come up with a solution for that. But secondly, I've got nowhere to build it. So that's what I'm going to be going over in this video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera around, show you the chaos that is this Lego room, and tell you what my plans are going forward. And here we have our Gotham City, and as you can see, it's a right state once again. I tidied this up several months ago, and I said, I'm not going to let it get like that again. 5 minutes later, it's a mess. Boxes, advent calendar, Onyx Cinder engines, art plates, Ninjago Dragon. What are they doing there? They shouldn't be there. Loose pieces, just put them in their correct boxes. It makes working so much easier. But yeah, it's. I think it's due to the lack of space I have in here that I'm struggling. All of these trays of Lego here, I was using them at that table there last night. I was out here so late that I just ding around putting them away, and if I do that tomorrow. But even the parts, I used to have it so they were all sorted and they've just got muddled up over time. I'll be building on the table, working so late at night that I end up just sliding them all in the box. And then I think, oh, I'll sort that out later, and it just doesn't happen. So yeah, I need to get into some good habits going forward. This table just here with the Tantive on is too small. I can't set the Tantive up along here, and I want to be able to enjoy it every time I walk in the room. I want to be able to take some good photos of it to show you guys how it's all looking together. And at the moment, I can't do that. These drawers at the back, I need to get them out of there and find a new home for them so I can actually use the pieces that are in there. This calyx unit at the back where the black pearl is, that is in the way of me sticking these engines in the back of the Tantive. So again, that's got to be sorted. So what I need to do is utilise the space in the Lego room more effectively. And what I've decided to do, and this is not going to be popular, is reduce the size of the Gotham City table. Now, this is a custom-made table. I made it when I first moved in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it off about here. At the moment, I think it's 15 large grey base plates in length by 5 in width. And I'm going to lose between either 3 or 4 grey base plates in length on here. Now, that means I'm going to lose either 15 or 20 large grey base plates. Now, that's a lot of real estate to lose in Gotham City. However, I am confident that I can find a layout where I can still get in all of the structures that I want to. So that is what we're going to be working on. Once I've done that, I'm then going to be freeing up this whole part of the room here. So I'm going to be able to put work tables on there that I can do my mock building on, so that I can carry on working on things like the Onyx Cinder so I can build the structures for Gotham City over there in a more comfortable way. I think it's going to be a lot better. I can then start also putting some sets out on display. I've got such a backlog of Lego sets in there, and I really want to build them. I want to enjoy them. I want to have them out so I can enjoy looking at them. And yeah, that's what it's all about. It's trying to make this Lego room a lot better, a lot more enjoyable visually for me when I'm out here. Now what I'm going to do is make a micro scale version of Gotham City as it is at the moment, and then show you what I've got in my mind for how it's going to look going forward. So let's go and build those micro builds, and I'll show you what we're planning on doing. So here we have a micro scale version of our city, and we have got the Ace Chemicals at the back there, the Joker Funhouse, Arkham Asylum, the docks, the Monarch Theatre, Flatiron Nest Building, our Old Wayne Tower, the Shrek Tower, the Stock Exchange. Then at the back we have got our courthouse, police station and our fire station. Now none of these are actually where they're intending on being long term, I don't think, apart from the Wayne Tower. So all of these buildings here we need to find a new home for, but also we need to make sure we've got enough room for the other buildings that I wish to make, such as a cathedral. We also want to have an Oracle Tower, a hospital, a bank, an apartment block for people like Selena Kyle and Edward Nigma. We want to have a museum and a couple of other just random tall buildings to get a decent skyline in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rearrange where the buildings are going to be going. I'm going to take the raised railway line down and then remove the equivalent of the 20 base plates that we're going to lose, and then we'll work out whether or not we can achieve what we're hoping to achieve. Now at the moment, this large structure at the back, that raised platform area, that has got our Wayne Terminus in there. So that is something I want to keep. So again, I need to find a home for that, and that one's going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze, so we might have to do a little bit of magic along the back here to be able to fit that in. The one problem we have with that structure is the height of it is higher than the raised platform over this side due to the railway station that's in there. And that's one other structure I also need to build, a train station. So let's remove part of the base plate on here to get it down to what the potential new size of the city is going to be, and see what layout we can come up with. And I think I've come up with a layout that I'm happy with, and I think it's all going to fit just about. It's going to be very tight, and we're going to have to modify a few buildings here and there and come up with some creative buildings as well to make it work. But yeah, I'm pretty confident we can do a good job with this. Now the layout I've gone here means I'm just going to be losing 3 rows of the 48 by 48 base plates. So we're going to lose 15 in total, meaning we've lost 20% of our city space, which isn't too bad. I think it's going to be a nice compromise with the Lego room. Now this building here, we're going to have the train line going through it. The hospital there will have a road and a train line going through the bottom of it. So there's going to be a lot of structures there that are going to be compromised a little bit. The train line is going to be coming over further than it was previously. And one thing I am considering is removing a part of the docks on the end here. So I'll just shrink it a little bit. Won't be by a massive amount, and there'll be very little work involved with doing it, as there's no structures on that part. The good thing with the way that I've built Gotham City, like the bridge, for example, it's very easy for me to move it as it's all modular. So that is another plus side to this. So if you imagine this area here, which is probably the equivalent of 2 grey base plates, they could then come down this end, and that frees up a bit more room in the business district, so to speak. So this is just how I'm thinking about doing it at the moment. I'm going to keep this all built up like this, and then I can keep rearranging the buildings if I come up with a new idea for it. I don't want to lose too much of the water around Arkham Island if I can, as I think it looks really good as it is at the moment. But some buildings like the Joker Funhouse, I might just do it so it's overhanging the raised platform on stilts or something like that. It's just to give me a little bit more room behind there. With these 2 structures here, for example, they are going to be part on the raised platform and part on the lower section as well. I think it's going to give it some real interest. And again, it's just going to utilise the space that little bit more. But at least now we know that we can achieve what we're hoping to do with this. So let's go and clear the top of the table off down this end, and then we can start modifying the table to its new size. And the Lego room is a complete mess. Surprise, surprise. All the pieces on the floor, they're just Mills plates. So there's not been that much destruction, believe it or not. It's a lot worse, looks a lot worse than it actually is. All the mills plates, I decided it was easy just to rip the bricks off of them and then just redo them. It's a very quick and simple job. All of the structures are as they were beforehand. So this is going to be a very quick job to get this back to how I want it to be. The only thing that's going to take a little bit longer is integrating the Old Wayne terminus into the raised platform area. But again, it's not something I'm that worried about at the moment. Now, with the table here, as you can see, I've chopped the end of it off. Very quick and easy job to do. I do still need to tidy it all up. It is a fraction too long by about 1 inch and a bit, but I think I'm just going to paint it rather than try and change it over anymore. Due to where I've got the legs on this side, it's going to be easier for me to tidy it up. And that's the layout of the room all sorted. I just need to sort through a whole load of boxes and a whole load of bricks, but a lot happier with this new layout. I think it's going to work a lot better. So I've now got this area here, which was where Gotham originally went to. So as you can see, I've got all my drawers on the back wall there. So it's going to be a lot easier for doing the builds. As you can see, we've got IG88 there and a few pieces. So that's what we're going to be working on very soon. The table that's over in the corner here with the Old Wayne terminus on, that will be going eventually. Just need to integrate the Old Wayne terminus into the raised platform area, which I'll be doing very, very soon. Need to find a home for the dropship and the ATOT. But over here, this is where we've now got a larger area either side of the table. So I can now extend the table should I need to do so. Previously, I had a Calyx unit here, which was a 3x4 one. Now it's a 2x4. So I've got that much extra space this end. But also down the other end, we've got rid of the Calyx unit as well, which stopped us from putting the engines in. So now they can all go in there. And there's plenty of room behind. So originally we had the Calyx unit here, then a small computer desk. Then we had a large wardrobe carcass down the end there from IKEA, which I've now got rid of. So all of this stuff I need to sort through, which hopefully won't take me too long. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle there, that needs to go into Gotham City. So again, I just need to integrate that into there. And yeah, then hopefully we'll get through it. A lot of the sets up there are my backlog, sets I want to build one day. There are also a few on there that I need to sell. But yeah, a lot happy with this space because now, once I've cleared this table off, I'll be able to work on the Onyx Cinder on there as well, which would be good because there's plenty of room there for me to do so. Now, what are the changes we've made to Gotham City? It's not too bad. We shrunk the docks area here by probably about 24 studs. So there is a little bit of the docks area that's been lost. The bridge I've slid down by 32 studs, and that was so easy to do. The far end is built into Mills plates, so I just slid the Mills plates along the raised platform area, and the Mills plate that was this side of it, which had nothing on it, I'll just put the other side. And then over this side, this is where we've lost the 20% of the city. But by removing the raised platform over the back there, it has freed up some space for me to put more buildings down. So again, I think it's actually worked out for the better. So with the layout here, the plans are the Monarch Theatre is going to be staying here quite close to the bridge because it gives it a dark, gloomy feel, which is what I'm after because of the crime that's going to happen in Crime Alley, which is going to be down there. The other side of the road here, I'm going to put the Iceberg Lounge, and again, I want it to look all dark. I want it to look sinister, and I think that's going to be perfect just there. And I'm not sure what building I put down the end there. It might be just a cafe or something like that, restaurant. So we have Crime Alley here, and then we're going to have an apartment block, which is going to have the likes of Selena Kyle, Edward Nigma, and a few others maybe. And I might put, again, some restaurants or shops below that. Got the fire station just here, and then we'll have another structure behind just there. The GCPD will be going on that section just there. We've got the Flatiron-esque building, and then we're going to have our Shrek Tower. The Shrek Tower, I'm just going to shrink just a fraction on there, and the railway line is going to be going through the building. And I'm also going to move the entrance on the Flatiron-esque building to the front here. Due to the fact you can't see it that well, I think that's the best option. It will be a little bit easier to see once I've shrunk this building by probably about 4 to 6 studs. I think that'll be absolutely fine. Now over the back here, we have got our stock exchange. So that's going to be going there. We're then going to have some gardens, some trees, benches and all that good stuff. And then we're going to have the cathedral just here. The Old Wayne Tower at the moment is here. However, I'm contemplating bringing it to where the courthouse is and putting the courthouse where the Old Wayne Tower is. The reason for that is I'm considering putting a R&D section for Lucius Fox in at the bottom of the Old Wayne Tower, and possibly even put put something for Batman in there as well. But it's just something I'm toying with at the moment. It's whether or not I can make it look right, because if it's on the end of the table, you'll be able to see into it easily enough just by having removable panels. So that's just why I'm considering moving it at the moment. The problem I have, the further I go back with the building on the table, the shorter the building gets, because the roof slants in here. So at the moment, when I put the dome on the top, it was 2 bricks too high, so I've had to temporarily remove it until I can modify one of the floors. So as we come down the back of the city here, as I mentioned, we're going to have the GCPD train line comes through here. We're going to have the train station just here. There's going to be a couple of buildings of some description just along here which overhang and go down to the floor below. Then we're going to have the hospital here where the train line is going to be going underneath it, but also a road as well, potentially. Then further down here, we're going to be having Ace Chemicals and the Joker's Funhouse. The other thing I'm considering is the Statue of Liberty building there, actually putting it in the water and having it as if the Joker has defaced it and putting a clown's face on there. But yeah, it is obviously disappointing to lose a little bit of the city. However, I do think that it is the right decision, and this angle just here looking over at the city, I think he's really good. I can already visualize the different depths that's going to have in there, but I'm also excited by the fact I've now got this extra working space here, so it's going to be a lot easier to work on the builds, due to having access to all of my pieces. So yeah, there we have it. And also I can just picture getting the Tantive all set up in line like it's supposed to be, rather than all over the place at the moment. Because the good thing is with this now, having the extra work table down there, I can take a section of this over to there, or I can even bring it over to this table, work on it, and have the rest of the Tantive just set up along that big table there. Now, the plans for the next 12 to 18 months are to get both Gotham City and the Tantive finished. So I've just shown you the layout of Gotham City, and I did say a little while back I wanted to work on it and just work my way down. But I think what the best thing for me to do at the moment is to work with the pieces that I've got and get as much of it done with the pieces I have. I need to order in a whole load of pieces for the Arkham Asylum, which I can't afford to do just yet. Hopefully I'll be able to place the order in the next week or two. But once we've got those parts in, then we'll be good. But I could start working over there, no problem at all. So yeah, we'll try and work out. It'd be nice to get all of this all tidied up as well. Now with the Tantive, starting to have a different idea about the build of this, and what I'm considering doing is having one side of it all complete and the other side of it where you can see into it. Now previously I was going to have it so you had removable panels. However, I'm just wondering whether or not that's even worth doing. I want people to be able to see inside the build, but what's the point of having a removable panel just sat on the table? It's, if you want to see the build, or if I want to look at the build from one side and see it all complete, it'll be you stand one side. If you want to see the interior, you stand the other side. If I take it to an exhibition, I make sure it's on a table where people can walk the whole way around the build. So I think that's just going to simplify the build for me. It's not going to use up as many pieces, which is another positive on there. But it will still have all of the effect on there. The only thing that I would have as a removable panel would be the cockpit section just here, because I do think that when you stood here, it would be nice to be able to see that entire visual of that being all completed. But it's just something I'm thinking about at the moment. I just don't know how I'm going to have this as a removable panel that easily. But yeah, we'll have a think about it, and we'll decide a little bit later on. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building the Tantive IV in Lego, or Gotham City in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.